Hey everybody, it's Brandon. I'm going to show you how to disassemble the entire motor of the Fluval series. This is the 306. Most of them should be pretty identical. So let's open this bad boy up. I got this entire filter from eBay. It was cheap, though it was in very rough shape. So I completely dismantled the entire thing and rebuilt it, but I decided I'm going to show everybody on my YouTube. Everything inside of here is totally empty. It is just kind of the base. So let's get after it. Have a couple paper towels handy because I'm sure everything's going to be nice and wet. There is a couple things wrong with this filter. The wellhead here, the center part is broke. So it doesn't hold the propeller shaft in place, but it doesn't matter because this one is broken anyway, so that's kind of annoying, even though she said it was completely functional off of eBay, but that's what you get when you buy for eBay. So I have a couple more parts coming in. So these shafts are very, very fragile, and it looks like it broke in her filter. And she ran it like that. The propeller jumped around a little bit while it's in here, moves around, and then it broke the center part of that. But anyway, let's continue digging into this so I can show you kind of what's going on. So this is the propeller. It's a big magnet. It does come apart off of the propeller here, so you can clean that all up. A lot of good gets in there. All this has to do is twist 270 degrees before it stops. Make sure that wiggles a little bit, but it's on there firmly. Make sure that's nice and cleaned up. Alright, this is the cover for your priming system. Let me find another little screwdriver here. Alright, so this is very difficult to get off. Sometimes you can push it to the side and it'll pop, or you can very gently sneak a screwdriver to unlock the little flap right here. It should pop like that. And this is two pieces. There is the cover, which is rubber and just kind of sits right there, and that makes the entire priming process possible. This is a very important piece. Make sure this is all cleaned out and smooth. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up the top part. So while you're on the bottom, there's 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, prepare to fast forward. And 4. Okay, so those 4 screws are out. On the top side of the filter, there's one more screw, and that is inside of here. So go ahead, take that one out as well. And if you're doing this on a dirty filter, make sure you're doing this on a towel or somewhere that you won't mind getting dirty, because there's going to be quite a bit of gunk that you probably don't want everywhere, I imagine. Alright, now that that's loose, pull that screw out. Now we're going to remove the we're going to remove the primer handle. And that's on there with clips kind of from the side, so you can wiggle it back and forth and usually get it. It pops right off. And it's just kind of a clip system. And that's clear. So push that back down. Now the entire top should be free. This is the inside of the motor assembly. Not a lot going on inside of here. No gaskets anywhere. It's just one single piece of injection molding. So let's go ahead and set that aside, or throw it aside depending on how graceful you are. You got the two side clips that sit inside of that. You can just take those right to the side. This is your main motor. It is housed by quite a bit of rubber, glue, plastic, I don't know what that is, but it is solidly in there, going absolutely nowhere. If your priming system does leak every once in a while, there is a gasket inside here. So it is wedged between the top piece that goes down here and then this gray piece. So there's a little rubber gasket that makes sure water doesn't come out when you're priming. So we'll make sure that comes out. Actually, let's do that right now. So at the bottom, clear, we can push the primer assembly out. This piece usually gets pretty dirty on the bottom. Make sure that, as well as everything else, is cleaned. Then right here, there it is. See? One little gasket. This one is already well greased, because that's what I did at the beginning, or yesterday when I cleaned this filter out, but I want to show everybody how to do it. So make sure you do not lose that. That is vital. So that's everything on the top. There's a little groove for the cord here, just for the assembly. I don't really have to worry about any of that. Alright, on the bottom side, there's this white cover that I've noticed a lot of debris gets inside, and it's very difficult to rinse in there, and I couldn't figure out how to get it off for the longest while. So I eventually did figure it out. Let me grab something here. What you want to do is take a small screwdriver and set it on these little black nubs. There are 6 black nubs. Set it dead center and push, and it's going to push a pin through, a little plastic pin, and you'll be able to pull out this. This is a little clip. So this clip works. It goes in, and then once it is in, that's when they put the pin on the top, and then it holds everything completely in place. Let me actually find a little holder for all this stuff that I have here. I'll actually put my screws inside of that one. You got your 5 screws. So here's that clip. 1. And do that all the way around. Alright. I pushed all the pins through. Sometimes they'll come out, the whole assembly will pull out on your screwdriver. Sometimes it won't. But as long as all 6 of the pins are pushed through, you should be able to lightly pry off this white piece here. Oh, let me double check. Make sure they are all the way through. Oh, that one came out. Okay. No. 3. That one's out. 4. 5. And 6. Yeah. Ah, it worked pretty good that time. So put those down. Make sure you don't lose any pieces. Ah, there you are. Okay. Now the white piece is completely free. So pull that off. This one is completely clear and happy. Yours will probably be quite dirty because amazing debris builds up in there, and it just kind of sits and goes nowhere. There's not a lot of circulation or anything like that. So now that that's free, make sure you get your little pins. See these little black little pieces? These are your pins. One side is completely flat, and one side has little sharp edges. And that is so your screwdriver, you can push them in later or push them all the way through for maintenance. So, very gently coax the pins out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we are so close to having this completely torn apart. You can now pull off your gasket. This one is well greased and lubed. I'll show you how to do that here in a second. You always want to make sure your gasket, if you do any maintenance on your head unit, make sure that gasket is greased or oiled with silicone grease or silicone oil. I have this silicone grease right here, just a little jar. I'll show you how to do that here in a second, but I've noticed with the filter, with these canister filters, if the ring is not greased, and after a while you can't push it onto the base. The whole thing is very, very difficult to clip. You can't make a seal, it'll leak. It's terrible, but I'll show you exactly how to prevent leaks and from everything going bad ever. We are down to two pieces. This one. This is your primer housing, I guess, let's call it. That sounds pretty good. So there's nothing left in the primer side. And this is a bubbler, or I think. I'm going to go with I think. I think this is the piece that sucks bubbles out of your system, pushes them into the propeller, and shoots them out of the filter, so it's more efficient not having bubbles. So that is it. That is completely torn down. That is the motor assembly. This is an electromagnetic motor. There are no moving parts to touch in here. Everything is magnetic. It turns that magnet, so there is zero chance of anything shorting out because there's no moving parts. It's not touching anything. So I'd really like my ceramic shaft to not have been broken, so I can use this on my 40-gallon tank, but I have a couple smaller filters in there. I guess I'll just have to wait till Amazon ships my other stuff. So that is the full teardown. So let's go ahead and rebuild this bad boy back up. So from the top here, let's go ahead and, well, let's just go ahead and grease our gaskets. Right from the get-go, I'm going to tell you, do not use Vaseline. Please, 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 do not use Vaseline. Rubber sucks up Vaseline, and rubber expands. And it makes a great seal, and it's smooth, and it's good for a little while. But after a couple months, that rubber starts losing that, the Vaseline and everything, it starts exuding it, so the rubber starts shrinking, and that's when you'll run into constant leaks, and it becomes a bigger problem than it is necessary. So make sure you get a silicone grease or silicone oil only. That is the best way to go. Make sure it's food safe. This is a kitchen grade plumber stuff, so it is acceptable. So what you're going to do is dab a little bit on your finger and go ahead and work it around pretty good. Make sure it's on the inside and outside. And then with the paper towel, dab off the excess. You don't want tons on there, but you don't want it dry. So it's sticky, but it's not dry. So that's about perfect. So on your head unit here, I'm going to push that back into the primer pump hole. So see it in there? Ooh, I just noticed this is a little wonky. I don't know why or what that really does. Let's see. Well, I guess that just sits in there. I guess it doesn't really do anything. Okay. So, if you look here, there's this piece that is upward, and that is going to hold that gasket down. So that's all we, oh, nope, that is not all we're going to put our clips on the sides. Make sure they are hook side down, because this is right side up. Put those on both sides, and then lay the cover back on. And don't force anything ever, just nice and easy till it works. Make sure your sides are in. I think we're ready to start screwing her together. So start with the top center. Make sure the screw is very loose and easy. Don't force it. Don't over tighten. You'll just cause a lot of problems that you really don't need. So from the top here, you can now see the inputs. We know that gasket is in there. Let's flip her over. So now let's continue with the 4 screws on the sides. Again, prepare to fast forward. Fast forward! And a 4. Okay. Let's see. Let's put the primer housing together by sliding it in. Make sure it's snug but not loose, and make sure it's all the way down. This part will be flush. This part will not be raised, so that is all the way down right there. I suppose let's go ahead and put the white cover back on. Again, make sure this is all nice and clear and clean. Alright, now we get to play with these little clips again. So go ahead, with your white cover back on, put in the black clips in the 6 holes. Here, let me show you kind of what happens when you do this. When that goes in to the plastic, the bottom pieces expand, and then they expand more when you put in this little dowel all the way down. It locks those bottom pieces open so it can't pull out. That's what's going on. But I think you already knew that. You seem to be pretty smart people. Ah! Come on. Come on, little guy. Alright. All 6 are in. So let's go ahead and start setting our little pins. Again, you want to set these pins with the there's pointy sides and then a flat side. And this pointy side, I don't even know if, let me see if I can get a good view on that. Alright. Come on, focus it. Come on, camera. Nope. Never mind. Anyhoozle, I think you kind of understand what I'm saying. There's like little points all the way around the top of that. That's going to go up now, even though this is upside down. So in the long run, they will be pointing downwards. Zero confusion. Going down, going up. But you want the pointy sides to be pointing towards your screwdriver here in a second. So go ahead and get in all 6. And with a, what's the easiest thing? Let's use a marker so you don't push them too far down. Just push these little bad boys in. And that locks those completely in, so it is absolutely on there. So let's go ahead with the primer the primer plunger right now. What you want to do is, using some of the grease that we did before, grease the outside of this bad boy. Again, do all this after you cleaned and rinsed and did everything, but there is a little rubber seal all the way around this. Make sure that is greased. So it's all the way around. We're going to go ahead and set that into the hole, just nice and easy. And push it through all the way, flip it over, and put on our handle. Hold the stem and push that on till it clicks, and now that is back on. So now it sits a little wobbly, but oh well. Make sure there's no debris or cat hair on everything. There we go. Now the cover, make sure that your rubber, I guess, flange, let's call it rubber flange, it's going to stay on there. And just click that back into the assembly. There we go. That should be nice and snug. Looks like I did bend the plastic here just a little bit to get that out, but it did snap back on very tightly, so that's good. Now that we have all this assembled, let's go ahead and show you how to grease the gasket. What I do is take a little bit of grease on my fingertips here, and it does get messy. I'm sure there is a much easier way. If I start working it in, I'm pulling it as I go, getting a little bit more at a time, and work it in for quite a little while to the top and bottom of this gasket to get a good even coat of grease all over this. Again, I'm sure there is a much better way to do this, but this is how I'm doing it right now. If you have a better way, please let me know in the comments. It's not a bad way, just sticky. So make sure you don't have too much on there where it's like falling off, but it is greased now with silicone, so reassemble that. Alright. Feels pretty good. Make sure your hands are free and clean again. At this point, I would put my ceramic plunger back in, then your propeller, and then your cover. But with my ceramic dowel here broken and this piece broken, I'm just going to kind of leave it as it is right now. Oh, actually no, let me show you a common problem. A lot of times when you do put this back on, it pushes up the sides here and it bows this way. So this thing, whoever had this before me, you can see that this whole thing is bowing at a curve like this. So it wasn't fully set into the sides here, and that kind of bothers me because I'm gonna have to order a whole new one of these. What I have done before also, take a dab of grease, your silicone oil, and put it around all this. This is all rubber too. So around just the outside of here, to the bottom, and to the side here. And that'll ensure that this whole piece slides all the way in to the housing. You can see this one is still wonky. So that is a full deconstruction and rebuild of your Fluval canister filter head. Any comments or questions, please let me know. I would love to hear and see them. Let's put this bad boy back on here, and I'll show you by greasing that gasket. Watch how easily this slides in and locks. done. No forcing, no pushing down to make a full seal. Everything is completely good. If you have any comments or questions, or if this doesn't work for you, you get leaks or anything, please let me know. I want to know what's different, how you do it, because I'm very curious. This is Brandon. Talk at you later.